Well, good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? I'm very glad you guys were here to join me. Good evening, A1. Good evening, Beth Ann. Oh, see that? The choice of the song was perfect in A1's eyes. I'm very glad you approved of it. So, how has everyone's day been so far? Hopefully, everybody had a very, very joyful day. Hopefully, they spent it with loved ones. Not sure really what to talk about tonight, so I figured I'd leave it to you know, open panel. We can talk about anything, everything. Pam O'Connor says hi, Tammy and Rob. Good evening, Miss O'Connor. Very nice of you to join us. I believe I already said good evening to Beth Ann. And of course, my lovely, lovely lady A1. I'm sure Connie S might get on here. I'm sure Act Right will swing in. Mama Bear. Um, and whoever else wants to join. But just to let everybody know, I'm sure we're going to have some trolls tonight because they're probably going to wonder what we're going to talk about, who we're going to talk about, what the subject is going to be, the whole nine yards. So, my lovely moderators, definitely keep your eyes opened because we're hunting shh, we're hunting pandas. We don't want nobody to know we're hunting pandas. But yeah, I don't know if anybody's watched the White Boy live from last night. I caught a little bit of it last night. I started watching some of it, restreaming it, rewatching it or whatever. And then I finished it up this morning. That's good. Good for you, Matt. Good for you. Keep it going. But it was a very thank you, A1. It was an interesting live that White Boy did last night, but very interesting to be honest with you. And I think it's just going to get better, to be honest with you. There's a gentleman that's also does some stuff on YouTube that I want to really hook up with. Mama Bear knows who it is. That'll be, once he feels comfortable. I've reached out to him a couple times. He's emailed me back. We're going to try to maybe hook up here, but I think we're going to just chit chat through email or messenger or messages or whatever for now. But I think he'll be somebody good to actually get in on a live, because he seems like he's for the most part seems like he's pretty accurate with a lot of things. Of course, we got our famous fans out there, because they like it. And one thing I noticed earlier today, somebody posted a shit ton of fucking soda. They must be proud to use the government money to buy their fucking sugar habit or their soda drinking habit. And it's sad, because there's families out there that, don't have nothing, and then you have people that just take advantage of the system or think they can, honestly. But yeah, I mean, you guys might want to go check out White Boy's live. It was pretty good last night. I'm sure he had some trolls. I'm sure people have restreamed his shit, I believe there was somebody in there that we all know. And once you hear the voice, you'll know who it was. Not mentioning no names or anything like that, because if she wants everybody to know, that person itself will come out and say it.
Mama Bear will join when she gets home.
But I guess Mama Bear will join us when she gets home. I'm not sure if she's on her way home yet or not.
So
But I've talked to her on and off during the day. Also had a conversation with Cattle King. But other than that, my day was pretty good. You know, good evening, Act Right. Nice of you to join us. So yeah, I mean, if you all want to pick out if you guys want to pick a subject to talk about, or if you guys just want to do ask questions and just chit chat until Mama Bear gets in here, or if Act Right wants to talk about something, or UA1, it is what it is. We can have an open chat. But like I said before, I'm not into this. I'm not in this to make money.
We haven't been connected to it.
I haven't even connected anything to it. I really don't care to. Good evening, SS Brown, baby. Nice of you to join us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But I think eventually, I think I might do that. To see how this all works. And not too intrusive. How's meetings going? Meetings are going great. I do, like I said, I do NAs on Fridays and Mondays. I do my regular groups through St. Mary's Tuesday through Fridays mornings. And then I do an all men's group on Tuesday night. I do another group on Wednesday night. Then I do an all men's meeting Thursday morning after my first group session. But all in all, I'm doing good with it. Got my second shot last Friday for the Vivitrol. But yeah, I got this. I got this beat. I'm going to continue doing what I got to do. Stay sober, stay open-minded, not feed into people's bullshit, which I know that's just us. That's just the world. The world's full of it. But it is what it is. I mean, my bullshit might be somebody else's dream or somebody else's fucking gold pot at the end of the rainbow. But it's not going to be at my rainbow, at the end of my rainbow. What you're going to find at the end of my rainbow is a pot full of fucking shit. Because when you stick your hand in it, it's going to fucking come out and say, surprise, surprise. And that's only for certain ones. So, weather's been nice here. Tomorrow is supposed to be 83, sunny. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm thinking. Thank you very much, A1. And I heard your voice for the first time. Oh my God, I laughed. Not in a bad way. I just couldn't picture that voice with you. But yes, you said it to a T when you said that, responded to it. But yep, tomorrow's supposed to be beautiful. I'm thinking about giving the pupper dogs their baths and stuff. Get them all cleaned up before the fall hits, really, before the colder weather actually hits. We've been having some, the other morning, Jesus Christ, I walked out and to leave for group, and oh my God, I see my breath. So yeah, it's getting a little, it's got to, you're good, Act Right. Yes, you did, A1. You summed it up. I liked it. That was good. But yeah, I want to definitely give the dogs a bath that way, before winter comes. I don't want it to be too cold out for them, even if I have to. Even if I have to, I'll blow dry my dogs. That doesn't bother me. Oh boy, here goes Connie with the booby shake. So yeah, Connie, what do you want to talk about, Connie? I know Connie likes conversation. I know Connie likes to bring certain shit up. I know Connie likes to talk about different stuff. So what does Connie want to talk about? Oh yes, yes, Suzette. She loves the booty shake. The booty shake or booby shake. She can do both. She can do both. Um, but yeah, so that's what I got in store tomorrow. Since tomorrow's going to be nice, I looked up the weather for tomorrow. It's supposed to be full sun. Um, 83, 84. So it's going to be very very nice out. Um, honestly, I wish some of you ladies were closer. Because I would do a cookout. I would break out the filet mignon, um, prime rib, do some baked potatoes, um, some fresh vegetables on the grill. Maybe even some corn on the cob or whatever. Um, that's something that is bought with real money. Um, Not speaking for anybody else. I'm not trying to put anybody down, but if you need the help, you need the help. The people that deserve the help or that need the help, they don't get it. But the people that can sit on their asses and not do a fucking thing, they get everything handed to them, basically. Um, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth or a gold spoon. Yes, don't get me wrong. I was spoiled when I was younger, but we also were brought up to where, what, if you want something, you work for it, my grandfather was the type of man that if he seen a bum on the street, he would actually take him and feed him at a local diner and give him a $20 bill, and he didn't give a shit what that man did with it. If he wanted to go buy a bottle of liquor with it, he bought a bottle of liquor. If he wanted to go buy a pack of cigarettes and some beer, that's like my grandfather said. As long as he went away with a full belly, that's all my father cared about. And whatever he chose to do with that money was his choice, because like my grandfather said,
I'm gonna go outside.
that was his money when my grandfather gave it to him. Okay. Those people, what sucks in today's society is that, we don't,
Tell A1 to watch your back. Don't know what I mean.
she's got it. She's A1's got my back. Don't worry about that. But in today's society, we give and give and give. They take. Um, the government gives to, sometimes I believe, the wrong people. I'm not saying that the children are the wrong people by any means. But people take advantage of it, and I just don't agree with it. Especially when there's plenty of work out there, especially plenty of jobs. I mean, I know some people can't stand for long hours or whatever the case may be. Because of their health issues, or they're just, overweight or whatever the case may be. But it is what it is. I mean, if you don't want to work, you don't want to work. You want to live off the system, live off the system. But yeah, White Boys Live honestly was pretty fucking good last night, I noticed a live this morning. I believe Andrew, the person that went on there, um, doing the live with White Boy with about Andrew went on there and said that, facts, proof, whatever the case may be. I just don't understand. You ask for facts, proof, documentation, time frames, time stamps. The thing is I provided proof. And it's like, you didn't have nothing to say about that. I just don't, I don't know why. So I don't get it. You know, you want proof and evidence from all these other people for different shit, but you know, when people do show you proof, you don't want to comment on it. Why is that? You know, do you have something to hide? I don't know. I really don't care. That's your life. Um, I mean, hey, if you want to, you know, buy 4 cases, 6 cases of soda, 8 cases, I don't really give a fuck, to be honest with you. Um, I mean, eventually it'll come and bite you in the ass in the end. I mean, don't worry about that. Um, and it's just like with the Dippy situation, you know, it's eventually going to come and bite her in the ass with that too. I don't care, you know. I mean, it is what it is. You know, don't claim to be something that you're not. That was the only point I was trying to make. Okay. So if you want to take it to a whole nother level, have at it. I really don't care. Um, I'm sure you're restreaming me or whatever. I don't care about that either. Because if that makes you get views, make you look better, I really don't care. Still today in my book, and it'll be the same way tomorrow. So if you want to take it to a whole nother level, you're still an asshole. You're still a scumbag. You're still a piece of shit. I wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. I'd throw a gallon of gas. The ones that I feel sorry for are those 2 girls because they ain't never going to have a life with you because you can't provide shit for your kids, honestly. What are you going to offer them? A computer, a keyboard, a game system, a TV? What are you going to offer them? You know? But it is what it is. If that's the way you choose to live your life, that's the way you choose to live your life. Um, you know, you sit there and you put out, you know, your little drop a link. You know, you only drop links when you want to. Honestly, you know, you drop a link, and the way I look at it, the reason why these people don't pick up your link or even go onto your link is because they don't want to listen to your fucking bullshit. Because most of the time, what comes out of your mouth is bullshit. Like I told you before, you know, if you got away from the bullshit and you got away from the drama, hey, I agree with you. Hey, maybe that drama does sell. Have at it, buddy. Have at it. But you know what? Drama, I can cause all the drama I want in my life if I want to. You know, but like you said, drama sells. So if that's what you want to do, you know, if you like that shit, I mean, have at it. Um, it's it's just ridiculous sometimes, you know. Um, you know, you got these. I'll call them your crew, the Panda crew, whatever the case may be. Your girls, whatever. Um, they do what they do. But you want to know something? It's a little fucked up, to be honest with you, you know, because it's like they really talk about shit that they really don't have no fucking idea about. Um, like I said before on my lives before, I mean, if people really want to know about me, all they got to do is ask, and I'll be more than glad to give it to them. You want to see my arrest record? I'll get it. You want to see my fucking mugshot from the time I was 19 till last year? I'll get them all. You know, it don't bother me. You want to know what I did in my marriage? I'll tell you about it. You want to know that I fucked up my marriage? Absolutely. Um, I'm not using alcohol for an excuse, but alcohol did play a part in it. And you know what? It came to a point in that marriage that alcohol was just taking over. And I allowed it to. And I shouldn't have allowed it to be honest with you. But that was my mistake. Um, they all act like they like each other when we have heard how much they dislike each other at earlier lives. Yes, very true, Connie. And you want to know something? The thing is I just don't get like the Rose situation. I don't know her from Adam. And if I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, Connie, in the beginning when I first started doing lives with Andrew and getting on the screen and talking to everybody, like you, Jess, Mama Bear, um, and whoever else, because I cannot remember who else was in the lives. Um, didn't Andrew and Ro hate each other? Raven Rose, you know, um, and now all of a sudden she's a mod. Which I mean, I don't care. I mean, listen. I'm not saying nothing bad. Hey, you got mods. You got mods. But there's enough drama out there. Well, I don't know if I'd really call her that, Connie. Honestly, maybe a Chihuahua with no teeth. You know, I just sometimes when I watch Andrew's lives, which I find sometimes comical, especially when he gets on there with or especially when he restreams PG. Um, I do find it pretty funny, like the way he mocks her, the way he mimics her laugh and stuff like that. I find it comical. I do. I find it comical. I sit there in bed and watch it and I laugh. You know, um, but I'm sure she pushes his buttons or gets his feathers in a ruffle or whatever, and I'm sure that Andrew does the same thing to PG. I'm sure that's everywhere. That's everywhere here. Um, yes, and not you. I thought that was true, Connie. I just wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if that was the same one or not. Um, I overheard somebody say earlier, or not even so much. I can even speak for it myself. Andrew's brother Ericon is a very smart individual, which he is. He's a very smart individual. Um, but that's here or side, here or there. Okay. But PG's got some good lives. And as I was saying before, Andrew probably would have good lives if he really concentrated or even, put a little bit more heart into it to become a good YouTube creator. You know, I mean, there's enough money out there in the YouTube world for everybody to get a little piece of the pie. I would say. I'm sure PG makes money off of it. Andrew, I've seen you make money off of it. Probably not as much as you wanted to or expected to. Um, like I said, I'm not in this for the money, but I think I'm going to change it up a little bit and maybe get involved a little bit more. And I'm very sure that white boy, probably makes money off it. And I haven't even met the man personally or even chit chatted with him or anything. I just watched his lives. And like I said, he does pretty good. He does. Like the live last night, I think he had almost 1,200, 1,300 viewers. You know, that's pretty good. That's really good, to be honest with you. Um, so I take it he's been doing this for a while. I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't spoken to him. I haven't even chit chatted with him, emailed him, message back and forth, whatever. You know, but he's in Florida. He doesn't hide that. Um, but he seems like he's a decent guy. His wife, is phenomenal. From what I could see, stands behind him. But she's another one. You know, I mean, I'm gonna put it out there, and I'm gonna say, and I hope White Boy doesn't take it the wrong way if he does hear this. Um, but let me tell you something. That woman right there, I'd be afraid of. Noelle, his wife. Um, Like, she is a fucking pit bull. Like, she don't care, you know. Um, but they say, you know, you got to have a good woman to stand behind you, and she does. She stands behind him, you know. So his lives are good, and lives are awesome. Maybe one day I can be like that, huh? Or a local thing known as "What are you doing out of curiosity?" Who's curiosity? Oh, look at these little fucking minions. Huh? Oh yeah, she is A1. She's tough. But you know what? I like her. Oh, STFU, shut the fuck up. Oh, Marco, did I hurt? Are you getting a little butt hurt, Marco? You're okay. I tell you what, maybe one of your little minion friends can let you borrow one of their butt plugs and you can stick it right up your ass. How about that? Okay. See, I love it when people go on YouTube and they talk shit because they really have no clue. Um, you know, everybody calls out everybody, you know, and that's sad. It's not sad really, because nobody will come out of their house. Um, there's no such thing as confronting someone face to face, and if you have a problem with somebody, you handle it. You handle it. I've called out Mr. Andrew multiple times, and you don't come out of your house. You don't want to come out and face the real world. Because, like I said to you before, it's going to happen to where you're going to do something on YouTube or say something about somebody, and it's going to be the wrong person. And I know you don't care because you got your little Timu sword and you got your little fucking Hulk fucking bat, you know, because that's how people play in your state of mind. We got to have a weapon. But you're going to piss somebody off and they're not really going to give two fucks. What happens? Who's in the house? And you're going to get visited by somebody and they're not just going to want to, they're not going to deal with it and they're going to do what they have to do. Okay. Oh, is that another one that's getting a little butt hurt? Oh, poor boy, poor baby. Go play in Andrew's sandbox because none of you guys want to play in mine. I'll call every one of yous out. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. We can meet in a public place or whatever. Hello, Helen. How are you? We got some minions in the background there, Helen. They like talking shit, but you know me. I like shit talkers. I call them out and they don't want to play. I believe there's a lot of people that know, to be honest with you. Um, and it's a shame. It really is. Because it's about that little girl still, you know. You know, he goes on there and he makes something stating his his words that his son told him exactly what happened 3 days after it happened. Yeah, okay. So, well, in that case, then, if he told you exactly what happened 3 days after it happened, why weren't you questioned? You know, that's what I don't understand. Why weren't you questioned? Why wasn't Jeffy questioned? Why wasn't Kayla questioned? Why wasn't Karen questioned? Why wasn't Gordon questioned? How is it when you brought up Karen and Gordon's name, Karen and Gordon messaged Jeff and said, what the fuck is he doing bringing our names up in the live? That's what I don't understand. So there's got to be something more. But that's for another live, ladies and gentlemen. That's for another live. But it is what it is, you know? It's just a sad, sad thing, is what happens, what it happens to be. Okay. You know, in White Boys Live,
Lisa's running her mouth in the background about you owing Jeff that $1,400.
whatever. You know, you got Andrew, he likes to run his mouth. Then you got his fucking whale of a wife that likes to run her mouth. None of them can back their shit up, honestly. That's what I get the biggest kick out of. I leave my house every day. I've switched kids around between them all. Why were you inserted? Yeah. You know, but let's go back to what I was just saying. A lot of shit talkers, and that's what they do. They talk shit. I've called them out multiple times. You know, I've made it very clear. You know, I even said it on a live that Mama Bear did, to where it was just me and Andrew supposed to be talking, and that's when everybody thought we were, you know, kissy making up. No. There ain't no kissy making up. I mean, he can take it as a threat. He can take it as a promise. He can take it however he wants to take it. But there will come a day, and that I will guarantee you. You know, and then somebody brings up this Kelly Sue, which I never knew the woman. I've heard of the woman. I see things on Facebook that her daughter brings up, like still repost about, you know, my mother has never been found, whatever the case may be. You know, it's a shame, because it's something that happened to that woman that was never solved. You know, and the way I look at it and the way I take it sometimes is, you know, when Andrew even brings her up, it's like are you telling people that, you know, you were involved in it? You know, I mean, because it's not like you're doing anything to help solve it. I mean, it's been how many years? You know, I mean, just like when it comes to Summer Wells, you know, I mean, there should be closure to a case, you know. You're good, Connie. I mean, I know I would want closure, you know, if something like that happened to one of my loved ones. I definitely would not, you know, want to, you know, pass on and not know, you know, what happened. You know, knowing that, you know, that person that I cared about, you know, if I had kids, or my kids had kids, you know, this is what they're missing. You know, you got to figure that young lady, you know, has missed her mother. Um, you know, grandkids, you know, and it's a shame. It really is. It's really a shame. You know, it's like nobody, you know, it's like, you know, when it comes to certain shit, you know, it's like you talk about it for a little while and then it gets put on the back burner and nobody talks about it. Well, it shouldn't be that way. You know, if everybody put their, you know, stuck their heads together and really concentrated on a lot of things, a lot more things would probably be solved, or a lot more questions could be answered, you know. Um, You know, like I said before, I'm very thankful to have my mother and father still with me. You know, they're 73 and 72. They're all in all in pretty good health. I mean, at any given day, you go down to my mother's house at 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, you walk in the house. She's got a full cup of coffee on the dining room table and a packed bowl. That's her. That's the way she's been for the last how many years? You know, I don't have no problem with people smoking pot. You know, Candace had to put Summer to the side because her boys are still alive. Her words. You know, and speaking of that, you know, somebody also brought up that I don't know how true it is. So this is just hearsay. I'm going to say that she's got 7 kids total, um, but hasn't raised one to adulthood. Why? Why? That's what I want to know. Which honestly, I don't want to know because it's really none of my business. You know, so, you know, they don't.
He's screaming the fuck out of those kids because he's afraid that the background voice is going to get him copyrighted.
It's okay. I don't have no problem with you. I knew you had your fucking TV over. What? Record that.
I'm recording it.
Oh, did you ever get your phone card? Oh. Michael Crow case. Oh, look at that. That's got to be Haley playing her fucking games. But it is. It's very true. You know, it's like Candace has 7 kids, but has not raised one to adulthood. Why? Why? You know what? I wasn't the best child. Doesn't matter how bad a child can be. You always try to do your best. Okay. I wasn't a good child. Yes, it's very sad, A1. Very sad. I wasn't a good child. I was put in an all boys home at the age of 16 and I didn't get out until 2 months before I turned 18. Why? Why? And I'll tell you why. Because I thought the grass was greener on the other side. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to come home. I thought partying was more important than listening to my mother and father. So when it came to me going to court and being placed, and I remember this day like it was yesterday, okay, that judge looked right at my father and said, Mr. Thompson, what would you like done with your son? Do you want to take him home or what would you like to be done? My father looked at the judge and says, Your Honor, as much as I want to take my son home, I know he's going to go down the wrong road again. And what I'm afraid of is my son ending up in prison for the rest of his life or ending up dead. So I went away. Did I learn when I got out of that home? No. No. I still did what I wanted to do when I got home. Still went out and partied. Didn't go to school. I graduated. Don't get me wrong. I got a high school diploma, you know. But I look back now and just wish I could go back and change things. Because you know what? I did. I had a good childhood. I didn't go without when I was growing up. I had good parents. You know, I had awesome parents. That's one thing I can say. I had awesome parents. I had awesome grandparents. Both sides. I was shown love in a different way. You know, I wasn't coddled. You know, and I'm sure A1, you know, and some of us older people, you know, and I'm not saying anybody's old, so don't take it the wrong way. But I'm sure back in our day we weren't coddled. You know, yes, we knew our parents loved us. But it's not like we got held all the time and kissed and, oh, I love you, and squeezing of the cheeks and all that, you know. I got squeezed on the cheeks to make me hold still, to get my hair combed, brushed, whatever, you know. Um, but I think it all depends of how you treat your children. Is probably the same way you grew up, you know. Oh, and I did it when I had good adults in my life. I mean, not so much my uncles. I don't get me wrong, and I say it in a joking way. My uncles were awesome. You know, my uncles were. They're the ones that I always did shit with. You know. You know. So did they show me about the drinking and the smoking the pot and all that shit? You know. Sure. You know. Um, but I had a choice. You know, and I chose to follow that. You know, to go down that road per se. Do I regret it? Oh, absolutely, I do. I absolutely regret it. Um, but I'm glad I changed when I did. It just took many years for me to change. I didn't like the person I was becoming. And that might have, you know, had a little toll on my marriage also. Um, but it's part of life. You know, you live and learn. You learn from your mistakes. There's a lot of mistakes that I wish I could change, you know. Um, I'm here, I'm eating dinner, I'm listening. All right, Mama Bear. I noticed that we had some trolls in the beginning there, Mama Bear. So you do what you got to do. I don't care what you do. Just like A1 knows how to do it. So I'm good. Um, Helen, if you've been on your own since 15, I give you a lot of credit, young lady. A lot of credit. Um, because this world is a doggy dog world, you know. You got to do what you got to do to live. So, growing up, you don't you don't really know what to do. I mean, don't get me wrong. My mother and father showed me I knew right from wrong right from the beginning.
She's trying to say DoorDash and Instacart's not a real job.
Um, we're going to change that subject for a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I understand that Elisa made a comment that DoorDash and Instacart ain't a real job. Well, guess what, Elisa? Newsflash, you fucking fat cow. It is a real fucking job because she pays taxes on it. So how you like me now? She's not sitting on her fucking ass behind a desk answering a fucking phone or trying to sell a fucking hearing aid. Okay? So why don't you try to go back to Miracle Ear and learn to listen to shit, you dumb asshole. Hello, Nada. So why don't you get off your fat ass? Oh, that's right. You don't have a car. You don't have a license. That's right. I forgot. You and your fucking skinny ass Skeletor husband, okay, want to sit on your fucking asses, collect your fucking food stamps, buy how many cases of fucking soda, and to stuff your fucking refrigerator. What good fucking parents you are, huh? Talk about being parents, huh? And it doesn't matter how much I owe Jeff. Because you want to know something? Fucking Jeff owes me money for living in my fucking house and not paying anything except $425 a month. Internet, hot water, heat, electric. There you go. Equal it up. Now you can suck a dick, fat ass. So get your fucking story straight. At least Timmy's got a fucking job. Okay? When was the last time you had a job? Miracle Ear. Let me rephrase myself because I don't want to get it all fucked up. Okay? I looked at it as telemarketing. Okay? That's what I looked at it as. What did Andrew use? What was the word Andrew used? A call center. Okay? Same fucking thing. Look up the definition. And that might have, had a little toll on my marriage also. Okay? Oh, true crime. Go play with them. Okay? There's a lot of mistakes that I wish I could change. Oh, Mama Bear's on. Mama Bear's eating dinner. She's on. She's eating dinner and she's listening. Just turn me down a little bit. That way they don't get me for. I bet they owe Jeffy. Listen, I'm sure Andrew and Elisa owe Jeffy some money, especially with all the booger sugar Jeff bought. Trust me. Oh, yes. But yes, DoorDash and Instacart is very physical, but those two wouldn't know about anything physical because look at the size of Elisa. She's fucking 430 fucking pounds. She has no neck. There's no separation. She has rolls upon rolls upon rolls. She has fucking cankles for fucking legs.
He's got Caitlin on there saying, I hope he dies.
That's all right. Record it. That's good. So keep on teaching your kids to talk that way on fucking YouTube, Andrew. That's a real good dad. You're going to be a really good role model for your kids. Hopefully Hunter don't ever bring that grandbaby around you. I'll tell you that. You guys got a pathetic fucking life. How the fuck are you guys even still living in your apartment? Okay? Because you don't pay rent. That's right, Connie. That fat cow never missed a meal or a snack. She probably ate the whole fucking pig. That was her breakfast. My 600-pound life. Exactly, Helen. Thank you very much. I like Helen. I like Helen a lot. Yes, she is a one. Helen is outstanding. She gets a fucking star tonight. And I'm going to say it again, just like I said it previously. None of this shit would be going on right now if they didn't get butthurt because I talked to Mama Bear. Well, guess what, motherfuckers? I'm still talking to Mama Bear. Do you think that bothers me that you're not my friends? Because if you were a true friend, you would have just came to me in person and said, hey, you know what? I don't mind you talking to Mama Bear. I don't mind you doing, chit-chatting with her, but please don't bring up anything, da-da-da-da-da. Whatever the case may be. But no, you could not do that. You thought it was a big joke going on at YouTube. Oh, I fucked Rob. Ooh, how far did that get you? Not really far, did it? Huh? For one, I wouldn't fuck anything your size. Okay? Two, I don't like waterbeds. Three, I would need a crane to pick you up to put you on my bed. Okay? Oh, Dippy Doo Dah. Am I hurting your feelings? Huh? Am I hurting your feelings, Dippy Doo Dah? Huh? Dippy, you're a useless, pathetic piece of shit of a fucking human being too. Huh? Why don't you guys go fuck with White Boy? Huh? Go fuck with White Boy. Because he'll tear yours all apart. Yes, Doctor Now. Yes, I agree. Yes, thank you for stopping in, Nada. And like I told you earlier, I'm going to see what other stuff I can get up for you. Well, I'll definitely let you know. We would have lost in all the mount. Yeah, you ain't shitting. Listen, and another thing is, Connie, is I thought there was supposed to be separation from the boobs to the belly, the abdomen or whatever. You know what I mean? There's no separation there either. There's no separation there. It's like one big blah. Blah. I mean, are they coming out with a new Blob movie? Attack of the Blob in fucking Johnstown? Because stay down there. Stay down there on West Clinton. Don't come up my end. You come up on my end, I got something for your ass. Trust me. I'm staying on here. I got my oh, that's right. Yes, yes. I forgot. Grandbabies are fun. Trust me. I love them. They grow up too quick, so cherish them. Cherish them when they are little, because before you know it, they're running through the house giving you a lip. They're yelling at you. Yes, not boobs, just blubber, and that's all it is. It goes from head to feet, just one solid mass. Boom. That's it. You know. And then you got Andrew. He's Skeletor. So we got, so I'm gonna rename her Mrs. Puff, and I'm gonna rename Andrew Squidward. You know, they're coming out with the human version of SpongeBob SquarePants. Let's see. Jeffy could be Patrick. Oh, I would listen, A1. I would love to open up a can of whoop ass. Yes, I would. I would love it. But nobody wants to step to me. That is the problem. They run this, but can't do anything else. You know, all they do is hide in front of a camera or a fucking computer screen. You know, I get the biggest kick out of that because, just because I'm 53 doesn't mean I don't know how to handle myself. I think I can handle myself pretty well. She using her baby. Oh, my oldest was Team Great Britain, Olympic boxing coach, proud mama here. Yes, you should be. You absolutely should be. Yes, Connie A1, she's comical. She is definitely comical. But yes, I mean, I did. I've called him out multiple times. I don't know if Elisa doesn't want to let him out of the house. Shit could happen. You could accidentally fall coming out of your house. You could accidentally fall coming up the street. You could end up in the hospital for a little while. I mean, you could end up with a lot of shit wrong with you, just coming out of your fucking house, and it's sad. It really is. I mean, that's why I'm thankful when I get up in the morning, when my 2 feet hit the floor, I know I'm still alive, But Andrew doesn't ever want to come out and play. I don't know why. Are you scared? Because you know how it's gonna be for you, because you've already got smacked up a couple times from me, huh? Tits on a belly. Oh yeah, well, she definitely got tits on a belly. But there's no separation there. Her wayward, troubled boys. Good for him, Helen. Good for him. You should be very, very proud of that boy. Yes, very, very proud of your son. So it's the weekend. Yeah, Panda. Yeah, you listen. Pussy's a nice word. Pussy is a very, very nice word. He's a bitch. He is. He talks and talks and talks, and he's a bitch, is what he is. His wife has a bigger dick than he does, has more balls than he does, honestly. But if they really want to get technical, none of them have balls. None of them have even the heart to come out and face anybody, to be honest with you, because they always come out with weapons. They always got to have a bat. Okay. Speaking of that, I'm going to tell you how much of a pussy, a bitch, Andrew is. We were all outside drinking one night. I walked my Thor. Yes, very true, Nada. Walking my Thor. I'm starting to train him to walk off a leash.
I'll make more coffee. It's right in the side door.
And he does good off the leash. He listens pretty good to me, even still to this day. So I was walking him, and a guy went by on a motorcycle, and I just asked him, nicely,
Not a full case, so.
to not rev the motor, so because I was training him, Me and him had a couple exchanged words, but it got squashed. Here comes Andrew, Mr. Save the Day, per se, came up with a fucking bat in his hand. So that got squashed. We went back down to the house, did a cookout, whatever, had some more beers. Well, Andrew goes over, leaves the house, goes over and tips over this gentleman's motorcycle and takes off, hides in a cemetery. Who does he call? He doesn't call the Ghostbusters. Okay? He doesn't call the Ghostbusters. He calls Mama Bear, and Mama Bear will verify this. I'm very sure Mama Bear will verify this because a poor gentleman that lived downstairs actually got hit with something and knocked out, and he almost sustained a serious injury. And where was Andrew? Hiding in a cemetery, calling Mama Bear to use her as an alibi. Okay? To use her as an alibi. So when she heard that, who calls me? Mama Bear. And I explained to her what was going on. So needless to say, Mama Bear didn't give him an alibi. So me personally, I would love to see this gentleman to let him know that I know where Andrew lives. That's how much of a pussy Andrew is. He can't take an ass whooping when it's deserved. That's Andrew's fucking problem. And this life wasn't supposed to be about Andrew. But guess what? It always turns on to Andrew. Andrew, he causes shit, but doesn't want to admit it. He got somebody very badly hurt that ended up going to the hospital that night. He's very lucky when this gentleman got knocked out, I was not close enough to even catch him. His face bounced off the sidewalk. And needless to say, this gentleman that I'm talking about that lived downstairs from them is actually Elisa's ex-boyfriend from years ago. And Elisa didn't even have enough courage to come downstairs to make sure things were all right or feel bad for the guy because your boyfriend at the time got him knocked out because of his fucking stupidity. No, he was a little bit, I want to say he was a little bit younger than me, Mama Bear. I mean, I still chit-chat with him. Nice guy. Real nice guy. Give the shirt off his back to you if you needed it. That's the type of guy he is. So needless to say, that's what happened to that gentleman. Very, very sad. And then, let's go there, since we're on the subject about exes and shit like that, I don't give a fuck who my exes are. But it's like the maintenance man that was for, well, I put it to you this way, the landlord that owned that apartment, okay, where I lived with Elisa and Andrew, the landlord's maintenance man is actually Elisa's ex-father-in-law. He has one of the daughters, one of the older daughters, that wants nothing to do with her. Why? Andrew can't do nothing by himself, Helen. A job and a room to stay, and fat ass wifey over there made him come home and turn that job down. Oh, of course. Listen, you know how many times I've offered Andrew a job when I was down at the hotel doing the hotel remod? And we would have came home every weekend. You know, we would have came home every weekend. He just had to be, and he didn't have to pay for a room or nothing. Food, nothing, nothing. Just cigarettes and alcohol if we wanted to drink. Yes, if okay, if Elisa didn't want Andrew to take a job, Andrew wouldn't take that job. So, like I said, Elisa's the boss in the house. Elisa has more balls, honestly, than Andrew. You know, I hate to sound like that, but it's the fucking truth. Honestly, it's the truth. But it is what it is. Hey, I know they watching this live, so I'm gonna take me and Andrew and wipe a row. Let's see. Helen's ask, he's a roofer, ain't he? No, no, no. He calls himself a roofer, but he's a ground bitch. He's one of those what they call gophers. Go get this, go get that. Yeah, he doesn't know how to fucking do roof. Seriously. He can't even hang a picture on the fucking wall straight. Okay? And I can even give him a torpedo level, and he still won't hang a fucking picture as straight as it should be. Okay?
The last
Well, it's pretty bad. You sit there and say how I don't know your older children, but you sit there and talk about them like you fucking talk to them every day. I don't need to talk about them like I know them. I'm just going by what your little phone calls were about or your little fucking text messages. Okay? How your two older daughters don't want nothing to do with you. So then if I don't know what I'm talking about, then why does the fathers have them? Because they don't want nothing to do with you. That's why. Just like probably, I'm sorry to say it, when the two fucking younger ones that you have living at home, when they get old enough, they're probably not going to want to deal with you either. No, Andrew's the one Andrew's the one to where Helen, he's going to walk by a snowbank. He's going to see yellow snow and think it's a fucking yellow flavored slushy. That's what he's going to do. You know, I hate to sound like that, but it is what it is. See, they bring out the bad in me, which I'm not think I'm being bad. I think I'm actually being pretty decent. If you remember, I said he ain't going nowhere because he got pain. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I flushed snot nose down the drain and washed my lips. Oh, I love it. That's a very good one, Mama Bear. Well, who would choose? Well, exactly. You know, because I really, I've actually met a couple of her ex-boyfriends, and it is, I don't know. Like I said, I can live alone. I stayed down at the hotel most of the time by myself anyway. It was me and Thor. So that didn't bother me. You know, I had my dog. I would screw around with this one or that one here and there. So what? I ain't afraid to admit it. You know, but now all of a sudden, wifey wants to come up on Andrew's panel. Woohoo! I'm scared. I'm scared. Understand something, because I know you're listening. I really don't give a fuck. You guys don't scare me. You guys don't put no fear in my heart. Elisa, I clotheslined you once, and that was on accident because you thought you were going to run after somebody, and I stuck my hand in the doorway, and your fat ass hit the fucking floor. It felt like a fucking, on the Richter scale, it was high. Trust me, it was high when you hit that floor. Okay? They probably felt that in Tokyo. All due honesty. Yes, I know, Mama Bear. Yeah, what? They started it over there, but they don't want to let it go. You know, so like I said, The fuckery. The fuckery. I like the fuckery. But the ball's in your court. What do you want to do? Do you want to come out and play? Want to play 1-on-1? 2-on-2? 2-on-1? 3-on-2? Or 3-on-1? It's your call. Let's play. Yeah, you know what, A1? And the thing is when all this shit with the YouTube with Andrew started, it was a big thing that the wifey didn't want the kids to even be heard or seen. Nothing. But now it's okay. Now it's okay for the girls to get in there. And from what I understand, the girls have their own YouTube names. So let's bring that up. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's like the tattoos, you know, New York state law states a person cannot be tattooed under the age of 18, even with the parents' consent. I know this. I know this for the fact is I had to take my son to Vermont at the age of 16 to get his first tattoo because I had to sign for him. But that's what he wanted. So am I a bad father for doing that? Absolutely not, because it was a memorial piece for his grandmother. So put that in your meth pipes and smoke it. Okay? Oh yeah, if you give it, you got to be able to take it, you know? So, you know, being that those girls are 14 and 12, maybe at the time it was 13 and 11. It's illegal. Doesn't matter if you're the mother, the father or not. You can't legally tattoo your children. So how are you going to explain that to CPS? Explain that one to me. You might want to get yourself a good lawyer. Maybe. That's right. You got to be able to pay for one. Huh? You know what? Good thing I got a good one. He's on retainer all the time. Change somethings very soon. Yo, I'm fixing to change somethings very soon. Mama Bear, you always try to change something. So I'll ask you again, Andrew, when you want to come out and play. I tell you what, I'll even be a nice guy. You can bring your bat if you want. You can bring your bat. I'll let you bring your bat. Why not? Oh, yeah, I agree. With her mothering skills, those girls will be prego soon. Oh, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. You know? It's a shame, too. It is. It's a shame. You know, because all due honesty, those kids are good kids. You know? But if that's the way they choose to raise their children, that's the way they choose their children. You know, choose to raise their children. That's all. I'm going to keep on talking, but I got to make me a cup of coffee, ladies. You know, it's just a shame that children don't actually be brought into this world. So you try to give them the best life possible. And I understand that life is not easy at times. But you still make it as much as you can, as much as you put into it, you can make it as best you can. But treating or doing the things that you do when it comes to those girls is wrong. You know, Elisa, Elisa seems to Elisa seems to forget that there's a lot that I remember. Um, when those girls were younger. Okay. And we're going to go down this rabbit hole because that's the way I look at it. Going down this rabbit hole is kind of like going down the rabbit hole when you're really on drugs or when you sober up and you relapse. Okay. Some people, when they relapse, they go down that rabbit hole and they don't ever come back. Unlike me, I came out of that rabbit hole. I covered that rabbit hole up for my sobriety. Okay. This is why people don't like me now, because I did come out of, I stopped drinking. I'm not the same person. And I'm not going to be the same person that I once was. Okay. So now I'm going to go down this rabbit hole that I know I can crawl out of. Okay. And I'm sure that this has put trauma and emotional. I'm sure it definitely fucked these kids up, and I'm sure they're going to remember it when they get older. Okay. These children, and I'm not just talking about their two children, I'm talking about other children also that were there. But mostly them. Who makes their children sit on the floor to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Not I. While the adults sat at the table. And it was a table that I brought up and gave them. So how do you do that to your own children? But I bet you they can't answer that. And I bet you they can't admit, or not them. Let me rephrase myself, not them, her. Okay. Her, as in the wifey. Okay. Yes, she might not have been in a good relationship. But you want to know something? You paid the rent. Everything was in your name. But you gave her what she wanted. So whatever you gave into it, that's what you got. But you thought it was okay for those girls to sit on the floor to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and even snacks. Okay? You motherfucking people need some fucking parenting skills, to be honest with you. You know, it just sucks because I see it up here all the time with these fucking people. You know, it's sad. You know, the only time those children were allowed to sit at the table is that if it was okay with the mother and the significant other. Are you fucking for real? You don't do that to kids. You know, there's people out there that can't have kids that would make phenomenal parents. And then there's people out there that have kids that think they're the perfect fucking parent. Why? I don't get it. I can't grasp it. I can't wrap it around my fucking head. You know, I remember a time where I took Kay for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I brought her home with all kinds of stuff. And she had to split her clothes up and her socks. I bought her 30 pair of socks and she had to split them up with the other fucking kids because the wifey significant other, grandchildren, parents or mother or whatever. Well, not so much the mothers. Let me rephrase myself. But Joanne thought because they were bought for Kay and that I was her nephew and that because I bought them, that half of that should have went to her grandkids, is what I'm going to say. Which, no. I didn't buy them for those other kids. I bought them for that child. You know, now I understand and now I see why some of these children are the way they are today. It's their upbringing. It's their upbringing. But not quite sure why they do it the way they do it. Maybe they didn't have an easy childhood. I don't know. You know? Yes, I'm not going to sit here and say I was a perfect fucking father because by far I was. I was one. I wasn't, to be honest with you. You know? Could I have been better? Absolutely. You know, yeah, Andrew acts like they want him there. Yeah. You know how many times I've heard and even witnessed with my own 2 eyes and my own 2 ears that the kids have said to him multiple times that I hate you. I wish you would just die. I would just wish you would leave, move out. You know, I mean, I never said that to my father. I never said that to my mother. You know? I mean, if that's what you get out of, raising kids, if that's the way you want to raise kids, I mean, fucking have at it. I mean, it ain't going to really benefit you in the long run, I would say. Tammy, he ruled the roost. Nah, no, Helen, I honestly, I can't say that he ruled the roost because he doesn't have balls. He's got a mangina. You know? See, the wifey thought she knew me. She only knew the drunk munch. You know? The one that wouldn't back down from nobody. The one that, listen, I made. Have a good night, Nada. Talk to you soon. Thank you. It is. It's Elisa, the wifey, wears the pants in that relationship, in that marriage, or whatever the case may be. And it should be equal because even when I was married, for all those years before I did what I did, it was equal. I mean, if my ex-wife was sitting right here right now and if her and I were on talking terms, she would tell you. Oh, I don't know what fucking Hunter ruled, to be honest with you. I never got to meet the kid. I think if I probably met the kid in person, honestly, one-on-one, and if he got mouthy with me, I probably would have made him swallow his teeth, all due honesty, regardless of his age or not. Because I heard him tell his father to shut the fuck up the one time in the whole 9 yards, and you don't do that. You have respect. But you know what? It comes down to that saying, you get respect when you show respect. You know, I don't know what kind of relationship him and Hunter had. I really don't care because he was probably really never a father to them, to that boy either. Um, he wasn't part of Kay's life for fucking 7 years, 8 years, whatever the case may be. I don't know, you know. And he's going to say because it was his drugs and alcohol use. No, because you were a fucking total scumbag and you didn't want to fucking be a father. Just admit it. Okay. You know, I remember meeting that little girl for the first time. And the little girl wasn't well. My heart went out to that little girl. Ever since that day that I met that little girl, her and I had a special bond. Regardless of what's going on right now, and regardless if it continues on for the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, I'll still always love those girls, regardless. Just remember that. I will always love those girls. So you can talk all the shit you want to them about me. I don't care. You've got those kids so fucking brainwashed with bullshit, they probably don't know what to believe and what not to believe. You know, do I blame Allison for getting out of Gloversville when she did? No, I don't. And I never met the woman, God rest her soul. You know, was it the best thing for her to do to get Hunter out of the situation? Probably. Probably. You know? You know, and that's the thing, A1, I do. I love those girls with all my heart. You know, regardless of what's going on right now, if one of those little girls knocked on my door and they needed a place to stay or they needed to whatever, my door would be always open to those little girls. Good night, Beth Ann. Thank you for coming in. I would always have my door open for those little girls. But like I said before, you know, they expect me to be the same person I once was, and I'm not. You know, they expect the drunk munch, the one that's the jokester, always laughing and fucking around with shit and fucking around with people and the whole 9 yards, you know. I can still do that. I can do it sober. I don't have to be drunk to do that. I don't have to be under the influence of alcohol to do that. You know, but they always want to bring up negative shit about me. Well, let's take the eyes off me for a little bit. Let's talk about you. Let's put you in the spotlight for a little bit. Okay? Because like I said previously, I brought the shit in your house one time. The wifey and Jeffy always brought it in. So, Ro, you can ask me how many times where the kids were. Were the kids in the same house? Yes. Were the doors closed? Absolutely was. Did it give us the right to do it in that house with the children in there? No, it does not. But you know what? Yes, I'm an adult. But it was Elisa's house and it was her choice also.
She's doing live now. Haley. Yeah, wifey and all that.
Well, that's good.
With H on, with, him on camera.
That's good. Listen, let them both stream me. I hope Haley and your wife lick each other's fucking tacos. How's that big boil on your wife's, underneath your wife's armpit? Is it still oozing green, yellow pus?
Ugh.
Or did she finally get it taken care of?
Ugh. That's fucking gross.
Or do you put a straw in the hole and suck the shit out,
Oh.
Andrew? Huh? Let's go there, Andrew. Come on, you nasty motherfuckers. It probably stinks at night because she's got to roll up fucking paper towels and put it under there to soak up the sop. Okay?
Ugh. That's fucking disgusting.
All right, let's go. Come on. You know me, Andrew. I don't hold back. I can give two shits. What do you got on me? I can't hear you. That's right, nothing. Okay. Oh, no. It's bigger than a canker. That's like a fucking boil. It almost reminds me, if it was in the center of her chest, it'd be a third titty. That's how big it is underneath her armpit. You know, so that's yeah, it needs lancing. It definitely needs something. It needs to be drained first, but I'm sure Andrew pops it for her at night. I hate to say it like that, you know, because I don't like to be disgusting. The ignorance over there is deep. Yes, Connie, the ignorance over there is very, very deep, honestly. Very deep. You know, they put themselves on this fucking pedestal sometimes, like they're better than others. And honestly, they're really not, you know.
You don't have to slam that.
Yeah, right, that rug got stuck.
You got fucking, you know, now you got the wifey and Haley doing a live. Woo! What are you gonna bring up? You gonna bring up the text messages? Bring them up. I still got them all on my phone. Do you want me to show them the pictures of your titty? Huh? Do you want me to show them the pictures of your titty, Haley? Come on. I'm sure you already showed other people. You sat there and told me that you showed Ernie. You want to play this game? Come on, I can play all night.
Her point is that you're all friends on Mama Bear's channel. Because Mama Bear exposed him for the scamming liar that he is.
Mhm. You know, so I was gonna say there's more coffee. I didn't know you wanted another cup, or I would have made you one. You know, Andrew talks about his computers. Okay, well, let's see here. The gaming computer your wife bought when she got her taxes back. Probably the second computer or whatever else you bought is probably all that scamming money you got when you and your son scammed all those people out of money for Alice and stuff. Okay.
And to let everybody know, I was seeing all the text messages, pictures, and all that, knew all about it.
So see that, guys? So what are you guys going to throw up on my face now? Come on. I'm waiting. Come on. I'm waiting. Come on, Haley. Oh, you and Elise are going to get on there and compare notes? Hmm?
Pathetic.
Come on, we can play. And it is. It's pathetic. And the sad thing about it is,
At least I never sold my children.
Tammy never changed up on anybody until they changed up on her. That's one thing I can say about Tammy. Tammy is pretty straight,
Close that door.
forward, down to earth, easy to talk to woman.
Oh, you fucker. I keep fucking with that.
She thinks they are telling her the truth. What truth are they telling her? Well, yeah, that's what a lot of them are, A1. They're two-faced, you know. Well, honestly, Tammy gave Haley the benefit of the doubt. Okay. I went on there. I stuck up for Haley because they were bullying her. But now you see who she's friends with again. She's right up Andrew's ass. Now she's doing a live with the wifey.
Oh,
You know,
it's bad.
it is what it is. I really don't care. It doesn't bother me. You know, Tammy is a very, very good person. She has the heart of gold. I'm sure I've given her many reasons to probably fucking walk out the door and never come back, you know? Um, Between the drinking, and I'm not using drinking for an excuse. So don't take this the wrong way, please. But multiple times of me texting and messaging other women. Um, she's not stupid. She knew I was doing it, you know, but I thought I was getting away with it, you know. Um, but like I said, Tammy is smarter than your average bear. I have a good woman, you know, and Tammy is a very, very good woman. And she is a very, very hard worker. But she's not the type of person to sit back and take the bullshit either. You know, I've done Tammy dirty. You know, I'm not going to say that I haven't. Um, you know, the one woman that I did um, fuck around with. You know, Elisa made the comment on Facebook or whatever. I've never seen my bestie so happy. You know, no, I was drunk. You know, yes, it doesn't make it okay. You know, was I wrong for doing it? Absolutely was. You know, but she didn't deserve it. You know, um, if you don't want to be in a relationship with somebody, then you end it and then you move on. And and we didn't. You know, I mean, has she forgiven me for it? I don't know. I mean, will it be something that she forgets about it? Absolutely not. How can you forget about something like that? You know, it's no different than you know me. And I'll be honest. Yes, my ex-wife and I were having issues at the time, but it still did not give me the right to wander away from my marriage and sleep with another female. That is something that I should have went home and talked to my wife about at the time. But it got to a point to where you can only say, we need to go see a counselor, a marriage counselor, or whatever the case may be, because back then I had good insurance, because I worked for the railroad and, I still had my railroad insurance. So, so it takes two, but it was not okay for me to do what I did to my ex-wife at that time. And yes, we did try to work it out and everything like that, but we just came upon it's just something that can't be undone. you know um of course I have my son with her, and that was my as far as I know, because he carries on my name because he's the fifth. My son, he's awesome. He's going to be 23. He's always been my boy, always. Him and I've had our disagreements and whatever the case may be. We might have had some arguments and shit like that, but that's still my son. I love him with all my heart. There's nothing in this world that I would not do for any of my kids. It's just like now, a lot of you know the situation with my daughter. You know, speaking of my daughter, I'm in the process of getting her into um, a long-term rehab. That way I can get my daughter straightened the fuck out. Why? Because it's my daughter. It's my kid. I love her. You know, that's my oldest. You know, she is the first true love of my life. My daughter was. That was my mother's mother. That was my grandmother's firstborn grandchild, great grandchild. You know, I'm very. I wish she was still here. You know, but I'm very thankful. You know, in a way, I'm very thankful that she's not, because I would really feel sorry for my daughter if she was. Because my grandmother was the type of person where she would just drive there and kick the door in and play you the fuck out. You know, she was old fashioned and she didn't care. She's the type of woman that would walk up into uh, a place with a double barrel shotgun. You know, yes, A1. You know, it will. It'll be good for her. You know, I mean, she's got two beautiful children. My grandson, her oldest, my grandson, Raul, he is 14, and her daughter Gabriella is 12. Um, awesome kids. Very, very smart. The only thing that sucks is that, being that my daughter is living in New York State, nobody's allowed to see them in the father's eyes, because they don't want my daughter, of course, to be around them because of her drug issue, which I don't blame him. You know, um, I can't hold that against him, you know, because he's trying to protect the children. But in the same sense, you know, I feel like I'm being deprived of being part of their life, you know. So that's what I say about kids, you know. I mean, kids are innocent, and what they do and what they say, they learn from their parents. You know, so if you want to talk shit to me, you want to talk shit about me to them, that's fine. You know, that's your doing, not mine. If you want to make me look, you want to make it look like I'm the bad guy, that's fine. I'm good with that. You know, um, maybe one day it'll turn around and smack you in the face. You know, it'll backfire, whatever the case may be. But it is what it is. I can't change it. But I'm sure that if I was still the same old person when I was drinking, because Elisa and I didn't stop talking until 3 or 4 or 5 days after I talked to Mama Bear, because I was on a video chat with Jesse Ghost, Lips, and Mama Bear's daughter Taylor, which that is the very first time I ever spoke or even chatted with Taylor. Okay. Um, the first thing out of Lips's mouth was for me, she said, I would appreciate it if you didn't talk to Mama Bear. Well, one, I'm a grown ass adult. Okay. I can talk to who I want to talk to. Mama Bear didn't do nothing to me. Okay. So why should I stop talking to somebody that never disrespected me? Or as far as I know, has never talked shit about me. I mean, yes, could she have probably said, "Oh, Munch was an asshole," or whatever the case? Who the fuck hasn't? Do people think I'm being an asshole now for coming out of the woodwork and saying what I want to say? Maybe. Do I care? No. No.
Wrong.
It is what it is. You know, so now you got, you know, the wifey. You got the Louisiana alligator down there fucking thinking that they can do lives and just,
And show her tits to just about anybody.
you know, compare
Fucking hoe.
compare notes. Compare notes. Compare text messages. Let's see where you come. Let's see what kind of story or cockamamie bullshit you come up with now. Okay. But just remember, you guys wanted to bring this out of me. Telling my parents, grandbabies are precious. Yes, grandbabies are precious. Grandbabies are very, very precious. And speaking about precious grandbabies, Tammy's got 3 of them. 3 of them. 3 beautiful young ladies.
Oh, they deleted my other comment.
3 beautiful young ladies. And you want to know something? I talked to all of them when she video chats with them. I talked to all of them. But my favorite one, I don't know.
She's even shorter.
I don't know. My favorite one, I got to say, is the youngest. You know, my favorite one is the youngest, and she is a, what would you call her? She's a little redneck, tomboy, not afraid of anything.
You don't have any fear.
Yeah, she has no fear at all. Yeah, Grammy Tammy. No, they call her Mammy. They call her Mammy, is what they call her.
Because I gave the great grandmother the name. Grandma.
So yeah, it's Mammy Tammy is what it is instead of Grammy Tammy. I used to talk to my kids all the time from babies, even though they didn't know what I was on about. You know, very true.
And
Yeah, he's on that.
Yes, congratulations,
Yeah,
Connie.
Horse life.
But you know, it is what it is. I think A1 said something about, oh, Helen, I read to my belly. Listen, that's a common thing. I see that on a lot. I see that a lot. People read to their bellies, talk to their bellies. But they say it's good. They say that the child, that the fetus or the baby can actually hear what you're saying, which is good, you know. You know, and the thing is, you know, let's get back on, you know, I don't want to really talk about kids, you know, but it's like,
All these people are claiming that they're mothers, but yeah.
yeah, that's what it is. They're claiming that
They're
they're
boys.
mothers, but they're, yeah, you know.
And they're even trying to lower themselves so much where they're trying to send money to certain people. You think money's going to buy us? Please.
No. So now you got Haley over there doing a live, and she's making all the Panda crew wrenches. Oh, listen,
Talking shit about Mama Bear.
don't give those fucking panda bears fucking tools that they really don't know how to operate. Okay? Because Andrew can't even operate a hammer. Uh-oh, Angel on Earth's on. Hello, Angel on Earth. Yes, egg donors are different than being mothers. Very true, A1. Very, very true. And I've noticed that with a lot of the females up here. They're egg donors. They're egg donors. You know, now up here, I mean, you see it every day. babies are having babies. You know, the one meeting I go to is just down the street from where I'm at right now. And we're standing, you know, us guys are standing out there having a cigarette or a coffee or whatever the case may be. And
That's
here comes this stroller with this
how she's
child behind it.
so like.
And that's the way I look at it. She's a child.
Who is that?
You know, it doesn't even seem like this girl's over the age of 18. So it's kids having kids, and it's like the parents are okay with it. You know, one gentleman I know right now, personally, him and his wife are going to court to fight for their great grandson. You know, that says a lot for this person, this gentleman that I know. For him and his wife to do that, because he will sit there and tell you that his granddaughter is a piece of shit and doesn't deserve to have a kid. You know, so what does that say about that young lady? You know, because from what I can tell from the gentleman that I know, which is her grandfather, he's a very good man. He's a very family man. He's a very family oriented guy. You know, but it is what it is, I guess. You know, I guess people just live and learn. Um, but on that note, you know, I'm not sure what else you guys want to talk about. Yes, many grandparents are yes, that's very true. A1, very, very true. There's a lot of grandparents out there that are raising their grandkids. Um, it's not like the olden days. You know, back when we were younger, our parents raised us. Um, yes, I had a lot of time with with both sets of my grandparents. Um, I spent a lot. I mean, I could tell you stories. You know, with my dad's parents, with my mother's mother. You know, um, a lot of good stories. You know, like I said, you know, I had a good childhood. Whatever road I chose to go down, I went down. But it's not my mother and father's fault. You know, drugs have really messed up families. Yes, drugs definitely mess up families. You know, alcohol does too. You know, alcohol definitely does.
Gambling.
Gambling. You know, Helen says she's raising a pug. Well, Helen, you're raising a pug. I'm raising a Great Dane Saint Bernard mix. Okay, which is going to be what, 6 months?
Mm-hmm.
6 months on the 14th. Okay, so he's got another year and a half to grow, and I'm not looking forward to it. So I'm gonna eventually have to put a saddle on him. That way Tammy can ride him from one end of the house to the other. Um, oh, that's her name, Miss Peggy Sue. Nice. Yes, addictions are they're addictions. It's you know, everybody has an addiction somewhere along the line, whether or not it's gambling, sex, drinking, drugs. You know, you could have, yes, the size of a horse, absolutely, or a miniature pony. Take your pick. Um, you know, it could be exercising. You know, it's just many addictions can just go and go and go and go. You know, Saint Bernards are beautiful dogs. Oh, I start watching them over there. They didn't deserve my view.
You fucker. Again.
You know, so I think this live was okay. You know, I don't think they really expected it to be as calm as it was. You know, But I did. She's Helen says my ex was addicted to Pepsi Max. See, I'm not really a big soda drinker. I mean, once I get, if I get in the mood for a soda or something like that,
Well, you.
Ask Mama Bear if she wants to take over the live and do a live and we'll switch over.
is Mama Bear still on there?
I'm messaging her right now, so I'll ask her.
Oh, you ask her. Good live. Good love just chatting. Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with just getting on a live and just chit-chatting with people and seeing how their day goes and what their week is, what do they got planned? Do they have to work or do they have other things to do? Or they're going on vacation. I mean, it doesn't have to be about drama, And like I tried to explain that, I understand drama sells. I understand that. I do. But you want to know something? Sometimes you just got to leave the drama out.
Only six watching her.
You only you got to sit back and you got to really think about, are you really in the mood for
Big one. Damn it, come on.
the drama? Because I'm sure we can all make drama by ourselves, I know I can. I'm sure Tammy can. I'm sure any of you can. But to thrive off it, to restream somebody else's live to get yourself more views.
That's exactly what it is.
Hey, have at it, buddy. If you can get more views by restreaming my live to make your live,
They even hired a hooker.
have at it. Now come to find out they even hired a hooker. That's nice. Make sure you get your money's worth. I'm going to say night night. Termite's got to put her ladyship's pajama. Oh, you wearing ladyship pajamas? Well, Helen, thank you for stopping in.
I can't get the fucking points. I keep shutting it off.
Greatly appreciate it. We do plan on giving you a wrench. So you will be one of the mods. But you have a good night. Sleep well. And we will see you on the next one when I come out. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to say night night myself because I've been on here an hour and almost 2 hours.
Connie still has the best booby shakers, though.
Yeah, don't call the booby shakers gentle giants, Connie. But with that said, guys, I'm going to get off. I'll see you guys soon. Hope you guys have a good night. Keep your eyes out in the bushes. Make sure no one, keep your eyes out, keep on looking out the windows. There might be somebody in the bushes peeking on you. Don't want those little pandas running down the street past your house. Okay. A1 says night, Tammy.
Night.
But on that note, I will let you guys go. It is 10:40 here, so I'm sure it's almost 8 o'clock where A1 is. But thank you, Angel, for stopping in. Greatly appreciate it. And on that note, I will see you on the next one.